One of the more unusual vegetables from the garden is the kohlrabi, and we planted a few at our studio gardens, and we've harvested them for over a 3-week period. And a lot of people think they're actually eating the root system, but we've broken this one off, and as you can see, it's really nothing more than a swollen stem. And now that we've got this funny looking creature in the kitchen, Barb, tell us what we can do as far as preparation.
Well, if they're small, these are a little bit on the large side. If they're smaller, you can go ahead and just cook them, peel and all, just cutting off the root ends and the leaves. You can also eat the leaves and cooking the similar way you would turnip greens, since they're related to the turnip also.
Okay, what about eating it raw then? Is that the most common way?
Yeah, the larger ones we usually peel either before or after cooking. Eating them raw, of course, you'd peel them before cooking. Either way works real well. I'm not sure it's the most common way. Sautéing them, boiling them are real common. Another real common way is to cut them into julienne strips and pour a vinegar and oil dressing over them and letting them soak overnight in that, and then using them as a side dish. That's also real common. What we're going to do today is make a mustard kohlrabi, and we have a tablespoon of margarine that we're melting in our pan. And to that, we're going to add a tablespoon of mustard. Now, this can be the mustard of your choice, and today we're using a Poupon-type mustard or a Dijon type of mustard, and we'll stir those together a little bit. There's so many different kinds of mustards available today that you really do have a lot of choice here, honey mustards and wine mustards and so on. Now, to this, we're going to add our kohlrabi, which we've sliced into 1/4-inch slices, and we've cooked this ahead of time until it was just tender. It depends on the condition of the kohlrabi ahead of time. It should, if you get it in the 1/4-inch slices, take somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes to tender up a little bit.
And that was just in boiling water?
Right, about 1 inch of boiling water. And as I said, if you had the small ones, you could do it even a little bit faster. You could leave them whole if they were extremely small, although I think that for this particular kind of recipe, slicing them or cubing them would work a little bit better.
Well, what would you serve with something like this? What would be your main entree?
This would be just a side dish with any kind of fresh meat, for instance, that you might be having. Hamburgers would be fine, although you might have a little bit more trouble getting the kids to eat kohlrabi than corn on the cob. Yeah, French fries. This is a lot similar to hash brown potatoes, the way we're doing this. And if you had some onion that you wanted to put in there, or some other vegetables that you wanted to saute in it as well, you could even grate up some carrots, raw carrots, and that would add a lot of color to it. You just let this sit there until it starts to brown a little bit, and since they're already cooked, it's not a matter of cooking them as much as just letting them get that brownness on them.
Well, why don't you recap the recipe once again for us?
All right, I'd be happy to. We use 4 to 6 medium kohlrabi, 1 tablespoon margarine, 1 tablespoon prepared mustard of your choice. Trim the ends off of the kohlrabi and the stems. Wash and pare if large. Cube or cut into 1/4-inch slices. Heat in boiling water for 5 to 10 minutes, just until tender. Drain well. Melt the margarine in a medium non-stick skillet. Stir in the mustard. Add the kohlrabi and toss. Cook, turning slices until golden brown. Season with salt and pepper if desired.
Well, thanks, Barb. And for those of you, whether you call it kohlrabi or cabbage turnip, it's easy to grow in Oklahoma, and as you can see, Barb has given us a lot of great ideas on ways to use it too. So why don't you give it a try, maybe this summer or this fall in your garden.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.